So come to lying. Today's class is super gentle, super stretchy, big focus on the back, but also going through the chakras. So we'll start with our knees bent, feet hip width apart. And hands can either rest on the abdomen with the elbows out, or if you're feeling that you want a particular stretch under the arms, you can open your arms to like a T at shoulder height and have the palms up or down, but I'd probably say down. Just take a moment or two to connect to the breath. And then just very gently let both knees drift over to one side, it doesn't matter which. The opposite hip will lift off the ground. And then engaging the perineum to come upwards, knees upright, and then breathing out as you drift both knees over to the other side. And the opposite hip lifts. And you could drift as much or as little as you would like. And start to sway the knees from side to side in your own time. And once you're happy with the rhythm, you can optionally include your head. To turn the head to one side and then come to the centre and turn it to the other side. Classically, you would turn your head away from the direction of the knees, but you can also turn your head with the direction of the knees if that comes to you more naturally. Just be relaxed. You're massaging across the top of the bottom. You're massaging right over a major acupressure point, which can be very satisfying to soothe out stiffness. It's called GB30, which is a gallbladder meridian. But remember that these meridians travel throughout the body, so it might happen to go through the gallbladder, but it impacts lots of other aspects too. And then very gently come to the centre. Take an in and an out breath. And then just stretch your legs out and have hands down alongside you. Extend the heels and then relax them a little bit. And now extend your right heel. And as you breathe in, raise your right arm up above you, resting the back of the hand above you. Your elbow can be bent. And keep the hand here. And as you next breathe out, let the head roll or move it, letting the weight be heavy to the left, away from your right arm. And stay here for an in and an out breath. And when you next breathe in, stretch the arm away from you and stretch the heel away from you, really stretching out that right side. And then relax it a little bit. And then when you next breathe out, lower the right arm and totally relax the right leg, letting the foot drop out to the right. Bring the head back to the centre. And transfer your attention to your left leg as you extend your left heel. And when you next breathe in, raise your left arm up above you, back of the left arm on the ground. And then breathing out, turn your head to the right, away from the outstretched left arm. And stay here for an in and an out breath. And when you next breathe in, stretch the right arm away, the left arm away from you with the left foot. And then just relax a little bit. And when you next breathe out, bring the head back to the centre. And breathing out, lower the left arm back down alongside you. Extend both heels, so both toes up to the ceiling. And then just point and flex your feet a couple of times, waking up your circulation. And then begin to circle the ankles in one direction. And then very gently begin to circle the ankles in the opposite direction. Stretch your toes out and then release and relax them. Keeping your elbows where they are, just lift your hands so that the hands are up loosely towards the ceiling, and then begin to circle the wrists in one direction. And then circle the wrists in the opposite direction. And then stretch the fingers out and just let them curl in, and stretch them out and let them curl in and stretch them out. And then release the hands back down to the earth. Bend both knees again so that the knees are up to the ceiling and the feet are hip width apart on the mat. And keeping the right foot where it is, but do feel free to adjust it at any point. Hug the left knee into the chest. Just enjoy the hugging of the knee in, and you might like to circle the left knee while you're holding it a few times in one direction. And then a few times in the opposite direction. And then hugging the left knee into the chest. As you breathe in, still hold the left knee and let it drift arm's length away from you. And in your own time, but quite a few times, hugging the knee into the chest and letting it drift away to arm's length. This variation on a pose called Apanasana, and Apana is the foundational energy affecting us all the way around the lower abdominal area of the lower back, is almost iconic in lower back issues. It's the next step on from pelvic tilts. And then make the next hugging in your last one. And before you place your left foot on the floor, turn the left knee outwards and place the left ankle on top of the right thigh, opening the inner or the lower the groin area. Hands can either rest on the abdomen or palms down, and just gently sway both knees from side to side. We're massaging the lower back again, but we're also opening the groin area, and there's a little muscle on the outside linking the thigh to the lower back, and it's called the piriformis muscle, and it's a very short muscle that can get compromised and tight, and that pulls on our hips, just slightly putting us out of alignment. And the piriformis muscle is very, very it's looked over, it's just not thought of in back issues, but it actually does form part of the overall picture, or it can do. And then come to the centre with your knees, hug your left knee into your chest, and gently supporting your left leg to place your left foot back down onto the floor. Just sway both knees from side to side, and then coming to the centre, hug your right knee into your chest. Very often, the right side can be the more problematic on lower back issues, not always of course, but as a sweeping generalisation quite often. So we'll spend slightly longer on the right side, And just circle the right knee a few times in one direction. And then reverse that circle, going in the opposite direction, circling the knee. You're moving the thigh bone in the hip socket, and again, this is a perfect rotation. And again, muscles can tighten imperceptibly and just pull you slightly out of alignment. It's so subtle. And then if we don't stand properly, and as years pass on, if we put a little bit of weight on, it all adds to that going slightly out of alignment. And then once again, hug the right knee into the chest. Just enjoy this Upanasana energy movement on the right side. And we'll do the same on the left side, so breathing in, holding the knee, letting it drift to arm's length. And breathing out, hugging the knee into the chest. Breathing in, letting the knee drift away, and hugging the knee into the chest. And carry on a few times totally in your own breath pattern. And if you want to linger, that's fine. The right side of the body, of course, reflects where the gallbladder and the liver are. And they're very linked to anger, but the subtitles of anger are also things like stress, irritation, frustration, all those things that we tend to get all the time. And so very often the right side kind of clobbers more of lower back issues and general niggles. Just enjoying that Apanasana. Of all the energies, the Apanasana, the basic foundational energy, is probably the most important, because that sets it's like building a pyramid or building a thing of bricks. If your base is out, then everything is out. And then very, very gently hugging the right knee into the chest one more time. Opening the right knee to the right and resting the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Hands either palms down alongside you or on your abdomen, and just very gently sway your knees, both of them, from side to side. This is an upside down pigeon pose, which again is excellent for hip health. And it's often referred to as a figure of four, and offered as an alternative to pigeon. And then hugging the right knee into the chest one more time, and supporting the right knee as you place the right foot on the floor. Palms down alongside you, your knees bent. And breathing in, raise the arms up above you. Hold the left wrist with the right hand and just stretch out the left arm. Feel the stretch under your left arm. And then you might like to, just with your right hand, bring your left wrist fractionally to the centre of your body, which is slightly to the right. And then come back to the centre with your arms and change over so that your left hand holds your right wrist, stretching the wrist up away from your body, and then just slightly, possibly bending your left elbow to pull the right arm slightly to the left, the mid-centre, so to the left. And then stretching both arms up, and then breathing out, lower the arms back down alongside you. And palms down alongside you, just a couple of pelvic tilts. Flattening the back as if you're going to lift your bottom, and then releasing, so that there's that little gap under your lower back. And then flattening the back. Just a couple of times. Really slowly letting the weight of your body massage along the base of the lower spine. And it's exactly around those L4, L5 areas of the lumbar vertebra that do all the heavy duty work and that can so often take stress and strain us, and also reflect stress and strain. We often have backache when we're not feeling great. And then very gently, before we come up, just stretch the legs out. Bend the left knee and aim the left foot to the inside of the right inner leg. Hands can be on the abdomen. If you're at home, you can take a support underneath your left thigh. It's a lying tree position, and when you do it on the ground, you're not worried about balancing your weight. So you can open your thighs, extending your right heel, and get the full benefit of the groin opening on the left side. Just take another in and an out breath here. Very good for hip health, encouraging the blood to go to the lower abdominal area. And then take your left hand to support you under the left thigh and lift the left knee up, sliding the left leg out along the mat. And coming to bring your attention to your right side as you bend the right knee up and open the right knee to the right foot. It's not touching, but it can do, but it's aiming towards the inner left leg. Same on the other side. And again, if you extend your left heels as you're engaging the muscles either side of your left leg, you're opening your lower groin, which connects into the lower lymphatic system. And again, brilliant for congestion in the hips and the lower abdominal area. And then supporting the right leg with the right hand, bring the right knee up. Hug the right knee into the chest, bend the left knee, hug the left knee into the chest too. And just gently rock from side to side on the back. And then just hug in your knees and just let them drift away again to arm's length a couple of times, both knees together. And then we're going to come to however that works for you to roll to the side. We're going to be coming onto our hands and knees. So take your time to come upright and then gently come onto your hands and knees for cat-cow. Hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. And just start by swaying your bottom from side to side. And then you can, it doesn't matter which way you turn your head, just sway your head from side to side. Don't think about whether it correlates with your bottom movement. Just letting your neck ease out. And then come to the centre, dip your back and look either up or along the mat. And then round your back so that your chin comes to your chest. Breathing in, dip your back. And rounding chin to chest. And a couple of times to your own breath pattern, dipping the back and rounding. And then the next time you round your back, come with your bottom towards your heels, stretching out your arms. Child's pose or extended child's pose for a moment, but then lift your bottom, bring your elbows to the ground, and bring your left arm across you, stretching out your right arm, so that quarter dog, your bottom up in the air. Your right elbow can rest on the ground. Your head can almost rest on your right inner arm. Or just keep it central, or rest your head, your forehead on your left hand. Just stretching out your right side, bottom up. Slide your right arm back. Bring your right arm across your body and then extend your left arm. And be outward to the side of the mat. Just stretching out, quarter dog on the left side. And then sliding the left hand back, coming back to tabletop. And we're going to do something that you'll see cats do. They don't have to do very much, a little stretch in the morning, like dogs, and they're good to go. So slide your right leg back, stretch out your right toes, extend your right leg, and then just slightly rock forwards and backwards, massaging really over the balls of your big toe, stretching out under the toes, stretching out the back of the right leg, and then just very gently bring the right knee back down to the ground. And then stretching out the left toes, knee off the ground, toes tuck underneath, and just rocking gently forwards and backwards a couple of times. And then bring the left knee back to the ground. We're going to come gently to standing. So if this is available to you, tuck your toes, tummy in, bring your hands back, but come to standing, however that works for you. Perhaps to a forward bend, and then softening the knees, and rolling up as you press your feet into the ground, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. And then once you're up, lift and roll the shoulders. Press the feet into the ground. And bringing the hands up and out. Bring the hands back. Palms down. Back. And lower. Again, palms up and out. Back, palms down, back and down, up and out, back, down, and lower, up and out, back, palms down and out. The next one's the last one, bringing up and out, back, down, back, and down, lift and roll the shoulders. Bring the hands to the heart space, press the feet down, circle the arms up, hands together at the top, reverse palms, breathing out, go to one side. Center, stretch up, breathing out, go to the other side. Come to the center, just turn slightly, you can bounce in and out. Come to the center and turn to the other side, bounce in and out. Come to the center, lower your hands to your waist, lift the heels on a balance test. Try not to hold your breath. And then lower the heels and release the hands. And then slide the hands down the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, soften the knees. Curl in. Half lift again. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press the feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, raising the hands up, stretching up, third fingers, thumbs together, and just swaying palm. Again, a Vata movement in Ayurveda, the doshas, which is releasing for pain and just generally releasing. Come to the centre. And then release the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders and clasp your hands behind you, aiming the knuckles to the ground. Opening the shoulders, just turning to the left. Come to the centre and turn to the right. And come to the centre. Release the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. Palms together. Circle, soften the knees. Stretch up. Palms together. And then soften the knees. Maybe feet come a little bit wider, hip width apart. And just take to hold behind your ankles. Have a sense of lengthening your back and leading from your chest. To bring your back forward, just relax your neck, but just stretch your back and chest. Maybe straighten your legs a little bit. Elbows are bent. Just hold the knees. And then release that grip, soften the knees, press the feet into the ground, and roll up vertebra by vertebra again. Stretching the arms up, palms together, and then come back down through the centre. Raising the right arm, as we did at the beginning, stretching up. Turn the head to the left. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And then when you're ready, bring the head back to the centre and lower the right arm. And then raise the left arm, stretching up. And then breathing out, turn your head to the right, away from the extended left arm. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And then when you're ready, come back to the centre and breathing out, lower the left arm. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then make a light fist with your, let's say your right hand, thumb extended. And very, very gently follow your thumb. You can have your feet wider to support you. Make a circle, circling your arm forward, and your eyes follow your thumb. So this becomes a shoulder and neck exercise, and an eye exercise, and a mindfulness exercise. And the instruction is, I find incredibly hard to follow, is try not to keep your hips forward, but I find it almost impossible. You tend to twist your hips round to accommodate the movement, but whatever, just be comfortable. And then think about reversing your circle, so your arm goes behind you. Eye movement is very much involved in post-traumatic stress training, because the movement of the eyes has an impact on the brain. And then when you're ready, just drop, settle your shoulder, lift and roll the shoulder back. And we come to the other side, making a light fist. and you're circling the arm backwards to come forwards, looking up at the left thumb now. And then when you're ready, reverse the circle. And then just release that, lift and roll the shoulders. And using the nose as a horizontal figure of 8, just trace an 8, doesn't matter which direction you go. Again, you're just releasing the neck, but also your thyroid and parathyroid glands, but then higher up the pineal and pituitary, so it's like a metabolic reset. Soothing and calming, balancing the brain. And then circle perhaps the other way. If you can't do that, and I've gone wrong straight away, so I can talk. Just whatever works for you. And then just come to the centre. Bring the hands together to the heart centre. We're going to come down to the mat by bending the knees and coming to sitting in a cross-legged position. Briefly, I know it's not someone's favourite. And just hands on the knees. Cat-cow, breathing in, lengthening the back, breathing out, chin to chest. Breathing in, lengthening, breathing out, chin to chest. And again, a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And then come to neutral. Support your legs under the thighs just to lift them up. And then stretching the legs out in front of you. Maybe lifting the flesh out from under your bottom and then just bouncing your legs. A very simple twist. Just breathing in, raise the left hand, bring it to the outside of the right thigh. Right hand goes behind you. Just lengthen the body and breathing out, turn to the right, extending your heels. Breathing in, lengthening, and breathing out, turning. Your head is the last thing to turn. And then come gently backwards, hands either side of you again, just to balance you. And then raising your right hand, left to the left outside of the thigh, left hand behind you. Breathing in, lengthening, and breathing out, turning. Breathing in, lengthening, and breathing out, turning. Just breathing in. And then coming back to the centre, and just bouncing the legs again. If you want to rub the legs, that's fine. Or pat them, whatever works. And then legs in a slight V. Touch your hands lightly to either side of you, and then just slide the hands down, tummy in. Feel that you're lengthening from along your back and that you're leading with the chest. And when your hands have got to where they feel comfortable, which can be anywhere on your legs, your feet, the outside of your feet, your big toes, just relax forward into a wide leg forward bend. Calming again for the nervous system, encouraging you to breathe into your back. Almost imagine breathing into your kidneys. It's a softer forward bend than some forward bends can be. It's very gentle. Back of the neck is long. Chin into the chest is activating the vagus nerve, which additionally is calming for the nervous system, anti-inflammatory. You're opening your lower groin. If your heels are extended, you are activating the inner muscles of the leg, which can often be underused. And then very gently come to a seated position. So I'm going to come to cross-legged, but if cross-legged doesn't work for you, then come to wherever works for you. And then just bring your hands to the backs of your knees. Palms can be up or down. If you come to Jnana Mudra, the second finger goes into the thumb. Up as gesture of knowledge, down gesture of consciousness, and down as gesture of knowledge. So consciousness is up, knowledge is down. Subtle variations on Jnana Mudra, whatever works for you. And just imagine breathing in and out through the third eye. So it can be either between the eyebrows or just subtly above between the eyebrows and the centre of the forehead. Two parts, I think I said the other day, were referenced in yoga literature as being both used. Breathing in and out through the third eye. You can imagine breathing also in through the third eye and out through the back of the head, if that works for you better. Energy is free flowing in the body and in the mind. And as you breathe, just imagine mentally saying so on the in-breath and hum on the out-breath. Breathing in through the third eye, either out through the back of the head or out through the third eye. So as you breathe in and hum as you breathe out. And then just choose a colour, any colour that resonates with you today. And as you breathe in, you're breathing in air that's coloured with your choice of colour. Breathing in and breathing out. And now imagine that air expanding to surround you, cocoon you. And you're conferring protection on yourself for the day ahead. For only positive things to come in, positive thoughts, positive day ahead. As your cocoon surrounds you, envelops you, protects you. And then use that cocoon to send a wish to perhaps someone close to you or not close to you, just wishing them well for the day. Because in certainly Tibetan philosophy, if you wish somebody well, what you send out you get back. Not necessarily in exact format, but there is that thought that what you put out there you get back. So wish someone well for the day, and then let that thought drift away. Bring your hands in a prayer position at the heart centre, and then raise the hands to connect the thumbs, back of the thumbs to the third eye. And then bring the hands back down to the heart centre again. Chin to chest, take a bow for yourself. And thank you very much for joining me today.